Ladies and gentlemen, my name is David Ruff and I am head of Ruff Team Realty, and we are here to change the way that you structure your financial future so that you can become financially independent, and I'm going to show you some of the things to avoid to make you a lot more money. Hello everybody, and my name is David Ruff, and many of you have followed me in the past and know that I like to buy time or anything that has cash revenues that are coming in or anything that can save me time. And one of the biggest things that has happened to me over the past 10 years as far as my home is concerned is I've always loved Roombas. I actually buy them for all of my clients who buy homes or sell homes anywhere in the Greater Toronto area. And we have now moved a little bit past that and got into some of the robot mops. So if you're interested in buying time for yourself or buying cash flow, you're in the right place. Remember to always subscribe and follow. And even if this helps one person in your life, just share it with one person. That's all we ask. Today, what we're talking about is iRobot. Now, I am not a sponsor for them, but I have bought their Roombas for a decade. And this new product here is the iRobot 240. It's not really new. It's been around for a long time. I tried to convince my mom for years to buy one of these, and she just kept on pushing back to get it. Finally, I convinced her to have one. We ran it in her house. She runs it through her house, and in no time, she loves it within an hour. And guess what? The next day, my aunt buys one. The day after that, another aunt buys one. The day after that, my cousin and another aunt buys one, and everyone loves it. It's one of those things that you really should try. It's going to save a lot of your time, a lot of your effort. But let's get into it and we'll see how you like it. All right, so here we go. What we're going to get is one of these iRobots. Remember, these are really small. There's a lot of different models that come in this. So this is the base model, really, for you to be getting into it. But this is only a couple $100 for you to be able to get one of these. If you pop it open, it'll come with this little robot here, just for scale. Look at the size of my hand. It's very, very small. It'll fit in almost any cupboard. Now, what I noticed when we were talking with my mom is that she was worried that this device would be trouble whenever we're going to put it in a different cupboard. Like, where are we going to store it? So some of the competing versions are really, really big, like the size of a regular Roomba. Like I said, this is the size of your hand. It's very, very small. So one of the things I like about this is that there's not a lot of things that we actually have to maintain. It doesn't hold a lot of water where we're having to clean the other water in and out, clean and dirty water. It sprays it out, and then you're going to have to clean the rags. So we're going to go through how to set one of these things up. So when it comes out of the container like this, there's going to be a couple little foam things that you can throw out. These don't really mean anything. Inside, this is going to have the ejector button to remove the pad off the bottom, and where you're going to put the water in as well. That's basically it. And then the pads will click into this bottom piece right here, and we'll show you how that happens. There's a couple different cleaning aspects that you can get out of this, and just the press button to start. Of course, there is something in here that you can go read about. And then there's a couple pieces that you're going to have to pay attention to once you get into this portion. Now, these are the disposable pads that'll clip onto the bottom, but there's several different types of pads. You're going to have to try to make sense of those. It comes with this little battery into the back. Now, this is just going to be clipping straight into the back of your robot here. You're just going to take it, tilt it, and clip it in. Now, this takes only a couple hours to charge, and it will run for maybe an hour. It really depends on what mode that you have it in. To charge it, you're just going to pull this thing out and then put it into the charger that will come inside the box. This charger just goes straight into your wall outlet. If you take off this plastic here, the charger will just slide right in here, and then you just plug that into the wall. It'll take a couple hours to charge up, and then that's all you will need to power your new robot. Pretty cool, right? So when it comes to having your robot now that's going to be running, there's a couple pots in the back that we're going to show you how that works, and these different types of rags. Now, this first rag, notice how there's no water on it, and it says that it only goes straight. So this is essentially a duster. This is like a Swiffer. That's all it does. I don't find them very useful. If you do, let me know why you find them useful. The second one, as you can see, is a little bit wet. And so the little bit wet, as you can see here, goes straight forward all the time. Squirts some water out, but it's always straightforward and damp. This is the one that I find is the most useful, especially if you have hardwood floors. And what's the difference between this one that is very wet? Can you see the pattern behind it? Looks kind of like a palm tree. It'll make one pass to the left, one pass to the right, and straight. So it will cover every square foot of flooring that you have 3 times, with 3 times the amount of water coming out the front. The danger behind that is if you have hardwood floors, it's going to be flooding your hardwood floors. But it's very good if you have tiles and it's very dirty. This would be the one that you put on that's very dirty versus the damp one. But the damp one is the one that I find the most useful. Guys can let me know what you find is the most useful in the comments below. So when you get a damp one, you're going to open this up and you're going to say, well, what is the difference between them? Well, iRobot says that these come with a type of cleaner in it that's like slightly acidic, slightly cleaner, so you don't have to put cleaner in it. But as you can see, there's these little cutouts underneath. These cutouts are what are going to tell the machine whether to put out a lot of water or no water at all. If we flip the machine upside down, there's a tiny little reader that's here, and that reader is going to be reading this little cutout pattern, and that's how it'll know. If you look at it a little bit sideways, you can see these little clips that are in the bottom. So we're going to take this part and just slide it on in, and you're going to hear a click as it clicks in, and now it cannot come out. The way to get this off after you're done cleaning is you'd flip up the handle and press this little button downward. As you can see, when you push it downward, it will fall right off. And that's everything that you're going to be getting in the box are these few things. So if we're going to be talking about the different pads, I like the damp ones, especially for hardwood floors. These run about $1 each. Now you can clean your house and you just press that button in the back and it will fall off, you throw it out in the garbage. An option though is you could go online and buy from iRobot themselves, or they have some aftermarket ones that you can buy that these are plastic and reusable. So you can get these for about $2 each, or you can get a disposable one for $1 each. Up to you, however you go. Now these ones, when you use them, you just kick them off, throw them in the washing machine, and you can reuse them as many times you want. They're kind of like furry on the bottom. What I like to do is I like to put a little bit of water just to start it off with. And what I do, because these have no cleaner actually on them, when I'm going to be filling up the water container here, I try to make sure I put a couple drops of cleaner inside of it. It doesn't hold a lot of liquid in it, but if you pull off the filter that's in here, you can see that it actually goes down quite a ways. It actually holds a significant amount of water. Now it can still clean like 700 square feet or something in one go. So we do that on a regular basis. All right, so what I do, normally you're just gonna lift up this back handle here. There is always a filter that's in it. I like to take that whole filter out because I can get the water in it a little bit easier. I just put a little bit of cleaner in it. It doesn't take a lot, right? I just put a little half capful kind of thing. It'll take about 100 milliliters of water, or a little bit more, like 125 kind of thing. You can just fill it up. Once you put the water in it, like that's going to now clean up 600, 700 square feet of your property, depending on how big it is. Now you always got to tilt this thing to get it in. It's kind of annoying. Now let's try it first with the blue pad, just to show you the pattern that it actually goes on, and then we're going to try it again with the orange pad. All right, so here's a little trick. It always starts in the bottom left-hand corner wherever you're going to put it. It'll never go behind itself. It develops an artificial wall directly behind itself. So whenever you're going to put it in a room, bottom left-hand corner, it'll never go to the left, it'll never go behind you. So you don't have to put anything in its way. It'll always do it automatically. As you can see, it's squirting and it's doing this pattern around and about. It's completely different than the damp cloth patterns. Now, if you're going to try it with the damp cloth, which we put on here, you'll notice the pattern is different. You just have to press the button here, but it's only ever going to go straight now. Whereas the wet cloth will continue to do that palm formation. You'll also hear that vibrating that happens when it detects that the ground is very dirty. Otherwise, it won't vibrate. It normally does that around baseboards and so forth. So in conclusion, I love it. I would never go back. Why do we have dishwashers or clothing washing machines and dryers and so on and so forth? We do it because it saves us a huge amount of time, right? So something so small like this that can save you an hour every week or something like that for such a low cost, it's something that I absolutely love and I would not go back on. Of course, there's more expensive models that are out there, but just to get you in that door of letting something take over a task for you is something that's fantastic to me. Remember, always be buying cash streams or buying something that can save you time. I think this is something. What do you think? If you think it's a good thing, leave a comment below. If not, I'd like to know why you don't think it's great.